Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/ask Reddit by Planet Reddit. What's a harsh truth that humans refuse to accept? People have said a lot of horrible things about you behind your back. No matter how kind and awesome a person you are, there will always be people who don't like you. Don't waste your time trying to recruit them. My friend, who is one of the nicest people I've met, once had a guy just plain not like him. My friend is generally a likable guy and he felt like crap that this guy just did not like him. So one day my friend confronts the guy and is like, look, what did I do? Why do you hate me? And the guy was like, it's because you always walk around all happy and smiling all the time like you're better than everyone. And my friend was like, and he said that after that he literally stopped ever giving a fuck if anyone liked him or not because he realized it doesn't matter what you do. People will hate you for nothing. How dare he be happy? There is a relation between attractiveness and success. Well, get ill die then. You can make yourself more attractive than you currently are. Improve your grooming. Learn to be a snappy dresser. Learn some makeup techniques. It's a skill like any other. I lived in a wealthy neighborhood for a while. I was not. One of the first things I thought was, my god, everyone here is beautiful, even the kids. While some of that was no doubt down to their looks increasing their earning potential, thus making them wealthy, most of it was having the money for all the things normal people can't afford. Personal trainers, personal chefs or meal planners, the kind of makeup Sears doesn't sell, etc. Ad nauseam. My point? Looks make you promoted more, succeed more, have more wealth. Wealth makes you look better, be thinner, smell nicer and get more promotions. HR is not there to protect you. It is in place to protect the employer from you or from your actions. Oh, yes. I like this one a lot. It reminds me when I worked at Target a long time ago with two friends who were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. On Black Friday morning, they went to our store before their shift and bought a new flat screen. Girlfriend used her employee discount. I can't remember what pitiful amount it was, like 15% off or something, and realized boyfriend had all the money so he used his card to pay, not thinking. Next day, they were called into HR at the end of their shift and all I saw was Oberhind at protection escorting them out. They were fired. That was the only job I quit. Target. Haha, I currently work at Target. I'll probably agree with whatever negative comments are said about Target. There's always someone better than you at whatever you are doing. That would be me. Nice to meet you. Edit. Just realized I need to add that I am incredibly stupid too. I mean, look at that sentence, nice to meet you. Seems I can't even spell right. Some people were fated to meet each other. Some people were fated to meet each other. The correlation between competency and corporate position is not strong. My dad works as a clerk at an electronics shop. His boss is an idiot who cannot do anything, can't even lead management and don't have any experience in electronics. Heck, his employees have to log in into his email. To that, he gets so much money per month, but his employees get the minimal wage pay. Welcome to the corporate world. Dude, that was a great explanation. You made the office better for me. Excellent example. Well done. You can explain your point without screaming at someone. On the flip side, just because someone is calm doesn't mean that what they're saying makes any sense. And on the flip side, just because someone is screaming doesn't mean they are wrong. Absolutely true. Getting a job comes down to whether or not the interviewer liked you or not. Yeah, I mentioned this the other day. I lost out on a very nice job and later found out that pretty much the sole reason I was rejected was because when the hiring team took me to lunch after my interview, I ordered a steak, which I guess isn't appropriate for lunch. What kind of baby back bullshit is that? Pretty dumb. As someone who does a lot of interviews, unless everyone else ordered first and got an inexpensive sandwich and then you got a steak. And really that was the excuse they used for they just didn't really like you. Never disliked someone for something that petty. It's more like, wouldn't shut up about his weird political opinions at an interview lunch. See, and I would understand if I got an expensive meal while everyone else got inexpensive meals. But this was at a high-end restaurant where some of the others, including the person who interviewed me, were ordering lobster tails. Like, come on. Unless you're a famous historical figure, you will be completely forgotten within a few decades of your death. Yeah, but I'll be too dead to give a shit whether or not I'm remembered. So what difference does it make? I've never really understood that issue. Because a lot of people take comfort in what they leave behind, without it maybe being recognized that what they leave behind will be gone too in not too long, and what they left behind is then forgotten entirely. Edit. Grammar. That's actually the origins of the famous saying, quiet women rarely make history, but so few seem to know that. The woman who penned it meant that there was a lot of women throughout history that did great, well needed work. But no one writes or even thinks about them because women's work isn't valued. A lot of women worked quietly behind the scenes of pinnacle historical moments. That most of us aren't really that special. I find that truth to be very sobering and comforting, but it seems many would disagree. I think you'll find your mother thinks you are very special. I think criteria matters here. If we look at the butterfly effect, then one person's mere existence changes everything. But if we look at what we actually contribute to society, then I think you would be right. Yep, it's rarely reciprocated, but it also makes both people feel good, but yet rarely reciprocated. That everyone is ucked up in the head some more than others. All people are insane. They will do anything at any time. And God help anybody who looks for reasons. Kurt Vonnegut. My mom has a friend who is a psychiatrist, and she says, there are no healthy people, there are only undiagnosed. Employers don't care about you unless they gain from you. That would be a meritocratic system. The harsh truth of corporate life is that sometimes upper management will act like they don't notice that good employees are leaving the company because of an incompetent middle manager. They won't address the real issue, because it would imply that they had made a mistake in promoting an incompetent person to middle management. This is the exact situation I find myself in. My boss has worked at this company for 25 years, and the last 3 he became manager of our design team. His technical skills are great, but he has absolutely no people skills, or even a sense of empathy. He has lost 4 of his 9 designers since he became the team manager. Does upper management seem to care? No. Does he realize that he might be the issue and is attempting to change his ways? No. People don't leave jobs or careers. People leave bad management. We are all biased, especially those who think they are not. Bias is like an accent. You grow up thinking that you and the people around you don't have any. Similarly, humans evolved to be xenophobic. Dislike of the other is in our DNA. Babies respond better to people of their parents' race. BNLMNIH.gov link. Racism is bad, but it's ingrained, and it's something we need to work on, among many other primal traits that don't serve us in modern society. It's not that you're racist deep down. It's that you are wary of people different than you because it gives you an evolutionary advantage to your safety and helps you keep track of people better because it takes shortcuts. Racism is a toxic behavior that is taught to humans to make these biases understood in antisocial ways. That there isn't necessarily someone for everyone. Lots and lots of people are lonely and unloved. I would argue that there are many someones, but that you have to be a good version of yourself to attain that anyway. Just work on being the best version of yourself and those people will reveal themselves. At your worst. No, not many people who would otherwise work well will show up. Damn. Hitting me with my own reality. Most people don't actually care what you have to say. No one actually care what you say unless they say the same. Let me tell you a secret. Coffee, it's just bean soup. Tea is just hot leaf juice. How could someone of my own family say something so horrible? I've never related more to iron. Adults don't have all the answers, and when you're an adult, people look to you for answers. The problem though, is that some adults do think they have all the answers. The vast majority of who you are and the circumstances you're in are decided by factors outside your control. Edit. Apparently I posted this in the right thread. If you can't find the motivation to act unless you can believe you control the outcome, maybe that's a problem with you and not with easily observable facts about the reality we share. Likewise, that you would be unable to feel and respond appropriately when you've fallen short or harmed someone else without the illusion of control is not a commentary on my lifestyle. Finally, just because something is outside your control doesn't mean it's within something else's. We are but a sum of outside forces. We are but the sum of outside forces in a causal chain 13.5 billion years long, leading to this very moment. What a fucking anticlimax, right? How can it possibly be unsatisfying? If we were space turtles made of lasers, it would still seem mundane until we thought about it. This outcome is as bizarre and fantastic as any other, and it's a privilege to experience it. Authority figures are put in place to keep bad people from doing bad things, but there's nothing that hinges the authority figure is good. That's why the US Constitution has the Second Amendment, for when all else fails. The attempt was to be we the people instead of we the subjects of the United States. Earth has a finite amount of resources and there are too many people using them. And our current economic system expects and requires endless growth. It's not going to end well. Yep, we're killing the planet. No, we're killing everything on the planet that can sustain us. Planet's going to be fine. You're not the main character, and sometime you're not as important as you think you are. I prefer to look at it in a different way. You are the protagonist in your story, but everyone else also has a story where they are the protagonist. I'm pretty sure I'm just the comic relief in someone's story, and most of my scenes got cut this season. Who is the main character? It's gotta be someone. The past is already written. You can only think about the present and future. And yet everything you perceive has already happened. We live in the near past. Some people are dumb or don't want to study. Putting them in the same class as smart people who do want to study is like putting a zombie infected in a room full of healthy people. No child left behind means no one is allowed to excel beyond the dumbest one. No child gets ahead is how we call it. This is why we need ability-based classes. Where I went to high school, we had 4 classes. 1 for dumb kids, 2 for average kids and 1 for gifted. Of course, they weren't labeled obviously, but as an example of differences. In history, the smart class wrote a 3,000 word essay. The average classes wrote a 1,000 word essay and the dumb class wrote a 500 word response. I know some people will criticize that, but it worked. Kids in the dumb class weren't university bound, so they just didn't need all the extra stuff anyhow. Many of them still went on to get jobs or complete vocational training. Many of the kids in the smart class have advanced degrees. Gross inequality of opportunities and abilities is the norm in life and biology. Some people really are born attractive, smart, and charming. They have it all. Equality of opportunity will guarantee vastly different outcomes. You can't have it both ways. Life isn't fair and it never will be. We can hope that karma is real in the greater scheme of things, but, in my experience, waiting for people to get what's coming to them is pointless. I've known shitty people that have taken shortcuts, cheated, etc., and they've made out just fine. I've also known people that have done everything right and behaved honorably and gotten absolutely screwed. We are animals. This made us a sort of shaved primate monkeys. We are monkey, and we are legion. Apes together strong. You exist to keep the system running. DNA's BCH. Everyone comes into this planet with nothing and leaves with fucking nothing. Yet we keep chasing things in life that doesn't really matter much and don't value the things that makes life truly worth living. You decide what matters to you, not society, and that includes money and material things. I don't care about getting married. I want cars. Join our community Discord, link in description. Without failure there is no growth. You can't eliminate poverty by giving people money. Yep, people don't seem to realize the systematic problems go way deeper. But you can make everyone rich by giving them money. Look at 1920s Germany, everyone was a billionaire. Everything is temporary. Nobody, not one person is obligated to give a shit about you. Parents, that's kind of their purpose, at least for a while. Unfortunately some don't get that memo. There will always be people willing to exploit others if it means making money, and they'll always find a way to do it. Not everyone is fit for college. People are way more selfish than imaginable. People are also way more selfless than imaginable. People would cheat their neighbor for his last bite of food when their plates are full. Yet people would run into a burning building to save just one more life. People would do the worst things imaginable to some other. Yet people would risk everything to save another human being. People would sneer at the homeless, yet donate millions of dollars. People are complex, selfish, selfless, aggressive, peaceful, smart and dumb. We are all that and so much more. It doesn't matter how smart you are. If you were born into a poor family, your chances of making it are extremely stacked against you. Chances are you will stay in the class you were born in. There is very little upward mobility in society. This is exactly why I hate listening to success stories, especially the rags to riches ones. Yes, I won't deny that they work their brains off and I don't mean to discredit their efforts. But you can't ignore the fact that these people are just the outliers. For every single rags to riches story out there are millions of people who still can't get 2 meals a day. Pride Month, Black History Month, and other months are overlooked because they are flooded with corporations attempting to capitalize on it, only to completely forget about what the month means in the first place. Nobody cares unless you're pretty or dying. There is no reason to be in a. The world is gonna end someday, and everything you've done will be destroyed. Your favorite Minecraft server will also be reset sometime in the future, and your epic castle will be erased. Humanity is far more insignificant than we believe. Personal is not the same as important. I mention this all the time and get mad downvotes, but everyone with the brain knows it. We need to stop having so many fucking kids. We're way overpopulated as is, and the earth is getting stretched thinner and thinner in terms of food and water, and living space in some places. People always wonder why are the Japanese not having babies anymore? Because they're fucking smart. They already have a growing population of young adults living in sewers because they can't afford the insane prices to live anywhere else due to the high demand. Prime parking spaces sell for millions and rent for thousands. They are treated like house rentals. The Japanese have a lot of weird stuff going on, so that's not the only reason why they aren't having babies, but that's one of the major ones. Look at the farming industry. Watch any documentary about cow and chicken production and you will want to puke. Why is that happening? Insane demand and profits to be had. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We need to adapt to our surroundings instead of constantly whining about the changing world. Wearing a mask doesn't make you a sheep. It shows you're mature enough to abide by CDC guidelines and listen to experts. It is impossible to have total equality. Edit. Equality. We're all going to die. I know it's true, but I can't imagine myself dying, and I don't think most other people can either. You cannot be friends with everyone, make everyone happy, consider everyone. If you could read the thoughts of those around you, you would become a recluse and would have completely lost all the faith you once had in your fellow human beings. Life isn't fair. We are accountable for our actions. People are much more predictable and have many more patterns than they realize. That it's not all about you. We have been, and will continue to have some form of racial bias, racist tendencies within ourselves, within society. If you don't believe me, I want you to look at any classroom or cafeteria without behind seating. As for outside of something like high school, almost any public place, we naturally segregate. Humans are, on the whole, incredibly fucking stupid. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.